Welcome back to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office has announced the discovery of a human skull. The skull was discovered on February 7th in the Robertsville area. Initial analysis seems to indicate it belonged to a male in his 40s. Investigators are attempting to extract DNA and run additional tests to see how long the skull was exposed to the elements. The skull was recovered close to the Shiloh Cemetery, which dates back to the 1880s. A joint investigation is currently underway with the Missouri State DNR, Highway Patrol, and the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. More on this story as it develops. An auto accident on February 11th has claimed the life of a local student. 23-year-old Renitra Osen was killed when her vehicle went off I-44 near mile marker 196 and overturned. Osen was a senior at Missouri S&T in multidisciplinary studies. Counseling services for those affected by Osen's passing are available from the university. President Donald Trump's restrictions on those entering the country have been nothing if not controversial. To address some of those concerns, Missouri S&T hosted an open forum on February 7th. The panel tried to answer questions from the audience and provide information about the situation. Dr. Larry Gregg was present to talk about the history of executive orders as well as the vetting process foreign students go through to study in the U.S. The university currently hosts 117 students from countries affected by the ban, including Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. As of this broadcast, the ban has been struck down as unconstitutional by a U.S. district judge and the ruling upheld by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Well, despite the lack of freezing temperatures, the annual Ice Bowl took place in Rolla on February 11th. Disc golfers took to the course at Burwan Park to raise funds for Rolla charity Grace. Leanne Mentink spoke with Scott Kickbush about the event.
The idea was to get disc golfers together in the wintertime when they usually weren't playing and then do a charity drive to replenish food banks. What we do with the money that we raise on ours is we donate it to Grace with it earmarked to go to local food banks. After the holiday season, food banks usually have a decline because they give out so much over the holiday season, and it was a way to help replenish food banks at the time when they would need it and get people out to play disc golf when it's supposed to be cold. It started in Missouri, but it quickly moved out to be a national event. There's a distributor in Kansas City called Disc Golf World, and they promoted the event nationally, and by the early 90s, it was a nationwide event.
Lebanon's Boswell Park will be getting a facelift, starting with a series of murals celebrating its Route 66 heritage. The initial tiles have been placed on the first of 3 murals, which depicts a 1957 Chevy. The mural will be completed by this weekend and officially unveiled on February 18th. The new artwork is in preparation of the Lebanon Route 66 Festival in June, with the goal being the completion of all 3 murals before the festivities begin. A Lebanon man is behind bars following a traffic violation. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 30-year-old David Durance is being held on suspicion of felony drug charges. Durance may face charges for distribution of marijuana and psilocybin mushrooms, use of drug paraphernalia, speeding, and driving with a suspended license. Durance has a history of drug and traffic violations and was placed on a 24-hour hold. A Caulfield man is dead after an auto accident in Ozark County. On January 24th, 85-year-old Paul Noblet was traveling on US 160 when he failed to stop for a MoDOT flagman and struck the rear of a stationary commercial truck. Noblet was taken to Ozarks Medical Center in West Plains, but was then transferred to Mercy Hospital in Springfield, where he later died. Noblet was not wearing his seatbelt. The first annual Banquet for Hope took place February 11th in Rolla. More than 200 people turned out to support Hope, Inc., a faith-based organization that provides shelter and services for homeless youth. The event was underwritten by more than 30 Mid-Missouri area business sponsors. Leanne Mentink spoke with CEO Alfay Jackson.
The mission of Hope is to provide housing, education, and training for our homeless, at-risk, and youth in need between the ages of 8 and 21 here in Rolla. The Rolla Public School District in 2010-2011 reported 41 homeless youth that school year within the Rolla area. Fast forwarding 5 years, we did a recent survey in 15-16 where the Rolla Public School District reported 57 homeless youth. MS&T students has gone from 1 per semester to 3. The residential facilities typically today are overbooked. Psychotropic medications are overly used to control unwanted behaviors. Our staff are underpaid, overworked, as well as the children in those residential facilities are fighting and cursing and things of that nature. And so at Hope, we have a concept of moving forward with an innovative approach that's driven by environment. When you think about environment, that's where you live, how you live, the people that you live with. And starting from the door with Hope, we want when that client walks through the door that they walk into an atmosphere that's serene. We recently applied for our state license through Children's Division, the state of Missouri, and we have to have 3 months of operating capital. One of our goals is to get the home purchased by Hope, but then to be able to get the backing financially that we need to be able to open our home on a 24-hour basis to serve our youth and serve them in the capacity that they're entitled to.
This event raised nearly $8,000, but Jackson says much more is needed to meet immediate goals. 2 area bands are coming together for a concert. The 399th Army Band of Fort Leonard Wood and the Symphonic Band and Wind Symphony of Missouri S&T will join forces for a free concert. The concert will take place at Castleman Hall in Rolla on February 26th, with tickets available for free at the Leach Theater box office. That's all for now. I'm Matt Wacker. Thanks for watching the weekly recap. I'll see you next week. The weekly recap is brought to you by Price Chopper, Cooking from Scratch, the Travers Automotive Group, the UPS Store of Rolla, Beck Motors of Owensville, Bayer Dodge of West Plains, Hangin' by a Thread, Mimi's Home Helpers, and Tailor Your Insurance.
Plunge like there's no mañana to support Special Olympics Missouri athletes. Come out of your winter siesta and be a part of our fiesta at your choice of 13 frigid bodies of water this January, February, and March. Sponsored by your local law enforcement, proceeds support 15,000 children and adults with intellectual disabilities in year-round sports training and competitions throughout the Show Me State. To find out how you can get involved, visit somo.org/plunge. So get your family and friends together and take the plunge to make a difference in an athlete's life today.
Dance your way down the Mother Road at the 109th Annual Coterie St. Pat's Ball. The event takes place Saturday, March 11th, kicking off Missouri S&T's best ever St. Pat celebration. They'll be eating, drinking, and dancing to the live tunes of Synergy. Proceeds from the event go to the Coterie Women's Scholarship Fund, benefiting students of Missouri S&T. So get your kicks on Route 66 at the Coterie St. Pat's Ball. Call Delek or Susan to reserve your space now.